I'd broken so many promises to myself and to other people to the point where I didn't even believe in myself and my goals at all. Where my self worth almost just crumbled a little bit because, after all the time where I tell myself that I could go and do and set out this thing, I'd set this goal, I'd have this, idea in my head that when I was at this point, when it got to this date or to this year, I would be in this position. This was incredibly prevalent when I was in university. In the first year of university, I basically started getting into entrepreneurship. And I thought, oh, wow, if I start here, I start working at it now, by the time, towards the end of it, which for reference, I quit halfway through university, but I thought in my head, by the time, most people have finished uni and perhaps they're a bit stuck, I'm going to be ahead. I'm going to be, making loads of money and so on and so forth. Reality kicks in, and I didn't really make that much money. And now I've pretty much quit that business because I misaligned with it crazily. But the point being is that I was obviously very disappointed, right? I was very disappointed in myself because I thought, how on earth could I waste so much time? How could I not be the person I wanted to be? How can I not get where I wanted to get? And for reference, this wasn't just letting myself down, but it was letting other people down and realizing, well, why am I not living up to those expectations? Why am I not actually getting where I want to be? And what was really important is when I was looking at this and looking at, well, it was trying to realize, well, what was I assessing myself on? And originally it was just money made or something, but I actually made a lot of progress and I had a lot of things to learn. Now, could I have made lots more success? Obviously, right? But I'm not going to beat myself up about it. And what I realize now is that what really kicked my self worth at the time was just the fact that I kept breaking promises to myself and even to other people as well. And that really hurts, right? Because if you say to other people and even to yourself that you are this certain person and then your actions completely reflect the opposite, what does that say about you, right? It makes you feel like a bit of a fraud. It makes you feel like, like who am I to say that I am this, and this person when I can't even do this, right? And what I started to make the change to do was to start making smaller, more realistic promises to myself. That was it. Just smaller, more realistic promises to myself. And it can be something stupid, like really stupid. Like, I know for me, it could even be like, right, I'm just going to wake up at this time, you know, as much as I can, right? I'm going to try and go for this walk every day, right? I'm going to try and do this thing, whatever it is, right? It doesn't matter. For me, one of the things that really helped me was, this YouTube channel, right? Where I'd create a YouTube video every day, right? And I'd schedule it in advance. And some days I'm creating two a day just to get a bit ahead. But usually it's just getting one video out a day, right? It doesn't have to be anything crazy, but it's a little promise to myself. And I've been doing this pretty consistently and I feel good doing it. I enjoy recording these videos. I enjoy the feedback I get. I enjoy seeing that some people actually somewhat resonate with some of my videos. Great. But that's what it's about. It's about making those small promises, right? And understand, right, you're never always going to be able to live up to perhaps your expectations, but there's also parts where it's also living up to other people's expectations as well. And I think the main thing is just identifying, well, you are the person that places your worth. And I think the best way for you to identify your worth and, just effectively the stuff you do is just by your actions, right? By your actions. Are you turning up every single day to do the things you want to do? I'm not saying you need to turn up every single day and do everything and, life must be a war. And if you haven't spent, X amount of time working, then you haven't done anything with the day or you haven't made the most of it. No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, making those small promises yourself based on whatever's meaningful to you. And for me, I found that just actually working on things that I align with and making those small commitments every day for me is ideal. That for me typically is trying to record a video every day and ideally trying to get some game development every day, right? just doing those small things, working on things that I want to work on, because I know that in a few years' time, this stuff is really going to pay off and I'm going to really appreciate it. And this was such a big difference compared to the business which I was working on for the last 2.5 years. So, really ask yourself those questions and really figure out actually what small promises can you start making to yourself today, the next few days. And it's just small promises, small commitment that you can make that can start rebuilding that trust that you can have in yourself. Because if you can't trust yourself and you can't, have some belief in yourself, no one else is going to install that in you, right? And especially if you're a guy, right? Deep down that, people can tell you, things will be okay and that they believe in you. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if you're the one that doesn't believe that. So making those small micro commitments or promises is really going to make a difference.